What up, boys, and welcome back to yet another video. So in today's video, we're looking at a gold farm that you can do at roughly around level 35, but it actually has some potential at higher levels as well. So before we take a look at that, massive thank you for all the support on the complete gold guide for Classic WoW. Not only does this gold guide have the best gold farms to do at level 60, but it also has the best gold farms to do as you're leveling up from level 1 to level 60. That way, you can ensure that you always have enough gold to level your professions, learn your new spells and abilities, and of course, be able to afford a mount at level 40 and level 60. So make sure to check it out with the link down below in the description and use the discount code STUDENT for 50% off. Now, the item of interest that we want to farm today, or the mobs of interest that we're going to be killing, are going to be these bad boys right here. The Dreaming Whelp and the Adolescent Whelp. Kind of hard one to pronounce. Now, they both takes place down in this corner right here in in Swamp of Sorrows. They sadly do not hyper respawn though, so they have a fair respawn rate, but you cannot hyper respawn these bad boys. And the reason why these are so good is because the Dreaming Whelp, they can drop Small Flame Sack, which you guys know has a lot of different use, like for Dragon Breath Chili and also Fire Protection Pots for Molten Core. So they still fetch a decent amount of gold. Now, the reason why this farm is also viable in higher levels and even in retail WoW, well, not specifically from these mobs, but the tiny emerald whelpling, which is a pet. And I know, like, who would be stupid enough to spend a lot of gold on pets in Classic Anniversary? But if you go in the auction house and you search up these, you'll notice that they're going for a fair bit of gold because people have just a stupid amount of gold in Classic Anniversary. So now we're going to take a look at like my results from doing this for 1 hour on my druid, combining it with like leveling and making gold. And I did have some competition as I was doing this. Like people came and they went because there's a quest that requires you to pick up these dream dusts from these guys. And of course, there's always going to be people that have the same thing in mind as you to make it gold. But most people didn't seem to be gold farming. They just killed a couple of mobs and then they would go on their way in order to do something else. Now, I did do this farm with skinning and herbalism as I got on my druid. So I skinned all the whelps. That kept in mind though, like the materials that you get from skinning these guys isn't really anything worth mentioning. Like you can get green whelp scale, but they're used for really bad items. So I'm just gonna go ahead and vendor these for raw gold. Sure, they're needed for skinning enchanted gloves, but still they're relatively cheap. So I'm gonna go ahead and vendor those. And same things go with medium leather and also heavy leather. Like you're basically better off just vendoring it. Then you're getting some gray items as well that you can sell to the vendor. I also got herbalism, as I said, so I do have some herbs right here. Not a lot, but some. And I got one green item in this hour. Also managed to snag up 12 small flame sacks, one lockbox, and sadly, no battle. Well, there are not battle pets in Classic WoW, but no pets, no companions. So I'm going to go to the vendor right now. And then I'm going to vendor everything that's in my bags that I want to vendor. And we can see right here that I made 2 gold and 71 silver. Also made roughly 1 gold off the raw silver drops from the whelps. So we can say 3.7 gold raw from this farm. Now, if I go in the auction house, and I'm fully aware that these prices are going to vary, right? Depending on which realm you, well, if you play on hardcore, NA, EU, time of the day also varies. But if I post everything on the auction house right now for the current price, like everything that I received, we can then get a better picture on how much gold I made, like off of this farm right here. So this cloak as well, it doesn't really go for that much above like the vendor price. So we're just gonna go and vendor that. And the total value of everything that's up on my auction house right now would be 11 gold, right? So we're making like 14, 15 gold without getting the pet, which I think is pretty good. Like considering it's a farm you can do at like level 34, 35, so you don't have to do it for a lot of hours, an average like this amount of gold before you have yourself a level 40 mount. So with that being said, that's pretty much it for today's video. I appreciate you all watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want to see more videos like this, and don't forget to check out the complete gold guide for Classic WoW. Appreciate you all watching, and I will see you all back in at tomorrow's video. Bye bye.